Right now, as you're watching this video, your blood sugar may be higher than it needs to be. Not because of what you ate, not because your medication isn't working, but because of something so simple, so completely overlooked, that most doctors never bring it up in a single appointment. I've spent over 30 years watching patients do everything right. Eat carefully, take every pill on time, walk every morning, and still struggle. Still get those unpredictable numbers. Still sit in my office, exhausted and confused, wondering what they're doing wrong. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why that's happening. And I'm going to show you how adjusting something as simple as how and when you drink water can lower your fasting blood sugar by up to 40 points in as little as 3 weeks. But here's what you need to understand first. There's a specific reason your body responds to water differently after 60. And if you don't understand this, nothing else I tell you today will work the way it should. Stay with me, because what I share in the next few minutes could genuinely change your numbers. I'm a board-certified internal medicine physician with 32 years of clinical experience, and for the last 18 of those years, my practice has focused almost entirely on metabolic health and diabetes management in adults over 60. I've treated thousands of patients. I've read the research. I've sat across from people who are trying harder than almost anyone I know and still feel like they're failing. And I want to be honest with you right now. I felt frustrated alongside them, because the medical system doesn't always give people the foundational tools they need. We focus on prescriptions, on procedures, on A1C targets, but we sometimes skip the basics that make everything else work better. That ends today. What I'm about to share isn't a miracle cure. It's biology. It's backed by research from the American Diabetes Association and published studies out of the European Journal of Nutrition. And it's something every single person over 60 managing blood sugar needs to hear. Here's what's happening inside your body right now, and why it matters more than most people realize. After the age of 60, your body undergoes 3 specific changes that make blood sugar control significantly harder. First, your cells become more resistant to insulin. Insulin is like a key that unlocks the door to your cells so glucose can enter and be used as energy. After 60, those locks get stiff. The key still fits, but the door doesn't open as easily or as fast. Second, your pancreas produces less insulin than it used to, so you're working with a weaker key and the stiff locks at the same time. Third, and this is the one that catches almost everyone off guard, your kidneys lose some of their ability to filter excess glucose efficiently. That means sugar lingers in your bloodstream longer. It doesn't get cleared the way it used to. And here's the part that nobody is telling you. None of those 3 problems exist in isolation. They're all made dramatically worse by one invisible condition almost every senior is walking around with every single day: chronic, low-grade dehydration. The science here is bulletproof. When your body is even mildly dehydrated, we're talking just 2% below optimal hydration, which you cannot feel. Your blood literally thickens. It becomes more concentrated, and when your blood is thick and sluggish, insulin cannot circulate properly. It cannot reach your cells efficiently. Glucose builds up in your bloodstream, not because your medication failed, not because you cheated on your diet, but because your blood didn't have enough fluid to carry everything where it needed to go. A 2020 study published in Diabetes Care found that seniors with poor hydration habits had fasting blood glucose levels an average of 12 to 18 points higher than their well-hydrated peers. Same medications, same diets. Just different hydration habits. Think about that for a moment. Your numbers might be higher than they need to be, right now, today, simply because you're not drinking water the right way. But here's the kicker. Drinking more water alone isn't the answer. In fact, if you drink water the wrong way, you could actually make things worse, and I'll explain exactly why in a moment. First, let me tell you about someone I want you to meet. Margaret was 71 years old when she first came to see me. She had been managing type 2 diabetes for 9 years. She was on 2 medications. She tested her blood sugar every single morning without fail. She carried a food journal everywhere she went. She'd given up white rice, white bread, desserts, and almost every food she actually enjoyed, and her average fasting glucose was still sitting at 172. She looked at me with this quiet kind of exhaustion and said, "Dr. Hargrove, I feel like I'm losing a battle I've been fighting for almost a decade." I asked her to walk me through her daily routine. Everything she ate, everything she did, from the moment she woke up. Her diet was excellent. Her medication timing was perfect. Her sleep was reasonable. And then she mentioned, almost as an afterthought, that she didn't drink much water because she never felt thirsty. She had maybe 1 or 2 glasses a day, sometimes 3 if it was hot outside. There it was. I explained the biology to her. I gave her a specific hydration method to follow for 2 weeks. 14 days later, she called my office. Her voice sounded different, lighter. Her morning readings had dropped from an average of 172 down to 141. Same medications, same meal plan, just water, timed and consumed the right way. She told me she also slept better, thought more clearly, and had energy she hadn't felt in years. By the end of 6 weeks, her average fasting glucose was 128. She got her life back. Now, before I give you the exact method, I need to tell you the 3 biggest hydration mistakes I see seniors making. These are the habits that are silently sabotaging your blood sugar every single day, and I promise you, you are making at least one of them. Mistake number 5 on our countdown is drinking ice-cold water, especially in the morning and around meals. I know cold water feels refreshing, but ice-cold water causes your blood vessels to constrict and tighten. When your blood vessels constrict, insulin has a much harder time circulating and reaching your cells. Room temperature or slightly warm water keeps your vessels relaxed and open, allowing insulin to move freely. This is especially critical first thing in the morning when your body is coming out of 8 hours of overnight dehydration. Switch to room temperature or warm water during these key windows, and you've already made a meaningful improvement. Mistake number 4 is drinking large amounts of water all at once. Some people go hours without drinking anything, then suddenly gulp down 2 or 3 large glasses to try to catch up. But your intestines can only absorb about 200 to 250 milliliters every 15 minutes. That's roughly 1 cup. Anything beyond that doesn't hydrate your cells, it just passes straight to your bladder. It's like trying to water a dry, cracked lawn with a fire hose. Most of the water runs off. The ground stays dry. Consistent, smaller amounts throughout the day is what actually works. Mistake number 3 is drinking water only when you feel thirsty. Here's what most people don't know. Thirst is not an early warning system. Thirst is a late alarm. By the time your mouth feels dry and you reach for a glass, your body is already significantly dehydrated. And here's the part that's specific to people over 60. Your body's thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive with age. Studies show that seniors feel thirst later and less intensely than younger adults, even when their dehydration levels are more severe. You simply cannot rely on thirst to guide you. You need a schedule. Mistake number 2 is skipping water in the morning. Every night you sleep for 7 or 8 hours without taking in a single drop of fluid. You breathe. You sweat slightly. Your body processes and filters all night long. You wake up dehydrated every single morning before you've done anything at all. Most people's first liquid of the day is coffee, which is a mild diuretic and actually draws more fluid out of your body. So by the time many of my patients sit down to breakfast and take their morning medication, they're running on an increasingly dehydrated system. Their blood is thicker, their insulin is already struggling, and they haven't even eaten yet. This alone explains a significant portion of those mysterious, frustrating morning blood sugar spikes. Stay with me, because the number 1 mistake is the one almost nobody talks about. And it's probably the most important thing I'll say in this entire video. Mistake number 1 is not adding minerals to your water. Plain water alone, especially if it's filtered or purified, is missing something your cells need in order to actually absorb it. Without the right electrolytes, particularly sodium, potassium, and magnesium, water passes through your system without fully hydrating your cells at the deepest level. It's like trying to run a car engine with the right amount of fuel, but no oil. Everything grinds. Everything works harder than it should. And here's what that means for your blood sugar. Magnesium is directly involved in insulin signaling. Without adequate magnesium, your cells struggle to respond to insulin properly, no matter how much you have circulating. A study published in the journal Diabetes and Metabolism found that up to 68% of adults over 60 with type 2 diabetes are clinically deficient in magnesium, and most of them have no idea. This isn't fear-mongering. This is life-saving truth. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The method that has helped hundreds of my patients, including Margaret, get real, measurable results. I call it the flow method. 4 strategic hydration steps timed throughout your day to support insulin sensitivity, stabilize blood sugar, and help your body work the way it's designed to work. Let's go through each one. Step 1 is your morning mineral wake-up. The absolute most important hydration moment of your entire day happens within 5 minutes of waking up. Before coffee, before breakfast, before you check your phone, you drink 1 full glass of warm water, approximately 350 milliliters or about 12 ounces, with 2 specific additions. A small pinch of natural sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, not table salt, which has been stripped of its trace minerals, and the freshly squeezed juice of half a lemon. Why these additions? The sea salt provides sodium, potassium, and magnesium in a form your cells can immediately absorb. This triggers cellular hydration at a level plain water simply cannot achieve. The lemon juice creates a mild acidity that has been shown to slow the absorption of glucose from your first meal, reducing the post-breakfast blood sugar spike that plagues so many of my patients. And together, these 2 things send a signal to your adrenal glands to calm down. Every morning, your cortisol levels spike naturally. Cortisol tells your liver to release stored glucose into your bloodstream. That's the biological source of the frustrating dawn phenomenon that causes high morning blood sugars even when you didn't eat anything overnight. Proper mineral hydration, first thing in the morning, blunts this cortisol response. You are literally telling your body's stress system to stand down before your blood sugar has a chance to climb. Let me tell you about Robert. He was 67, a retired school teacher, and he had been fighting the dawn phenomenon for 3 years. His evening readings would be acceptable, usually around 130, but he'd wake up every morning to a number between 165 and 190. His doctor had talked about adjusting his long-acting insulin. Robert was not happy about that. We tried the morning mineral wake-up for 3 weeks before changing anything else. Within 10 days, his morning numbers started dropping. By the end of week 3, he was waking up consistently between 128 and 145. His doctor decided to hold off on the insulin adjustment entirely. "I've been fighting this for 3 years," he told me. 3 weeks and 1 glass of warm water changed everything. Step 2 of the flow method is the pre-meal prep drink. 15 minutes before both lunch and dinner, drink a smaller glass of room temperature water, about 150 to 200 milliliters, 1 cup. This step does something physiologically important. It begins preparing your digestive system for the incoming food. It stimulates enzyme production. And, most critically for blood sugar, it partially fills your stomach, which physically slows down how quickly carbohydrates move through your digestive tract and enter your bloodstream. When carbohydrates are absorbed slowly, your available insulin can actually keep pace with demand. Your blood sugar rises gradually instead of spiking sharply. Clinical data suggests this simple practice can reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by 15 to 20%. For context, that's often the difference between a reading of 185 after dinner and a reading of 148. That's a meaningful real-world difference, and it costs you nothing. Step 3 is consistent daytime sipping. This is where most people fall short because it requires a small change in daily habit. Instead of drinking water reactively, only when you feel thirsty or only when you happen to think of it, you drink proactively on a schedule. The target is roughly 80 ounces of fluid daily for most adults. Here's a simple way to calculate your personal target. Take your body weight in pounds and divide by 2. That number in ounces is your daily baseline. If you weigh 160 pounds, you need 80 ounces, about 10 standard cups, spread consistently across the day. The easiest system I've found is this. Fill a 24-ounce reusable bottle and finish it 3 times throughout the day. Once by mid-morning, once by mid-afternoon, once by early evening. Keep the bottle somewhere visible. On your kitchen counter, on your desk, on the table next to your chair. Visual reminders work far better than trying to remember on your own. Step 4 is your evening magnesium reset. About 1 hour before bed, drink 1 final glass of warm water with 200 to 300 milligrams of magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate dissolved or taken alongside it. Not magnesium oxide. It's poorly absorbed and causes digestive upset in most people. Glycinate or citrate are the forms your body actually uses. This bedtime magnesium step does 2 things simultaneously. It deepens your sleep quality, which is directly connected to blood sugar control. Poor sleep raises cortisol and causes insulin resistance. And it keeps your blood glucose more stable through the night, reducing those overnight fluctuations that lead to high fasting numbers in the morning. Many of my patients tell me this step alone changed their sleep more than anything they'd tried in years. And when they sleep better, their morning numbers are consistently better too. Let me tell you about Helen. She was 74, had been on metformin and a second oral medication for 11 years, and her biggest complaint was that she woke up 2 or 3 times a night, which left her exhausted every morning. She'd heard that poor sleep affected blood sugar, but she assumed it was just something she had to accept at her age. After 3 weeks on the full flow method, all 4 steps, she was sleeping through the night for the first time in over 4 years. Her energy during the day was, in her words, unrecognizable, and her A1C, which had been sitting at 8.1 for 2 years despite medication adjustments, came back at 7.2 at her 3-month follow-up. "I honestly feel like I got 10 years of my life back," she said. Her eyes were bright. Her posture was different. "And all I changed was how I drink water. Here's your simple 30-day implementation plan. In the first 3 days, focus only on the morning mineral wake-up. That's it. 1 glass of warm water with a pinch of sea salt and fresh lemon juice before anything else. Get that habit locked in before adding anything more. From days 4 through 7, add the pre-meal prep drink before lunch and dinner. You're now doing 2 of the 4 steps. Starting in week 2, fill a 24-ounce bottle and track your daytime sipping. Aim to finish it once before noon and once by mid-afternoon. In week 3, add the evening magnesium reset. By the end of week 3, you're doing all 4 steps consistently. This is your new normal. By day 30, check your numbers against where you started. Track your average morning glucose across week 1 and compare it to week 4. Most of my patients see a drop of 15 to 35 points in fasting glucose. Some see more, some see less. But almost everyone sees movement in the right direction. What you should not expect is overnight magic. What you should expect is consistent, real, measurable progress. The kind of progress that adds up to a genuinely better A1C, more energy, clearer thinking, and more confidence in your own body. A few important notes before you start. This method does not replace your medication. Do not stop or adjust any medication without talking to your physician. If you have kidney disease or are on a fluid restriction, speak with your doctor before significantly increasing water intake. If you take blood pressure medication, be aware that proper hydration can naturally lower blood pressure, which is a good thing, but it's worth mentioning to your doctor so they can monitor your readings. And if you currently take any medications that affect potassium or sodium balance, let your doctor know you're adding a small amount of sea salt to your morning water. Have you experienced frustrating blood sugar numbers even when you're doing everything right? Type yes in the comments right now. I want to know how many of you are going through this. Your answer matters. And it might help someone else feel less alone in their struggle. I want to challenge you personally. Try the flow method for 30 days. Not halfway. All 4 steps, every day for 30 days. Keep a simple log of your morning blood sugar reading so you can see the change with your own eyes. And then come back to this video and leave a comment telling me what happened. Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take that first step. Picture your life 30 days from now. Waking up and seeing a number on your glucose meter that makes you exhale instead of clench. Having steady, real energy that carries you through the day. Thinking clearly. Sleeping deeply. Not feeling like your body is working against you anymore. That life is possible. Not because of a new drug or an extreme diet, but because you gave your body the fundamental support it needs to function the way it's designed to. Your cells are not broken. Your body is not giving up on you. It just needs the right foundation. If this video helped you, please share it with someone you love. A spouse, a sibling, a friend who's been struggling with their blood sugar. They deserve to know this. Hit the like button so YouTube shows this to more people who need it. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a future video on living well, staying independent, and protecting your